Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's broadcast of the North American Apprentice as I look very white. Let's fix that real quick. Wow. That really not doing me any favors here. Okay. Alright. There we go. Bit better. What's up, guys? Good afternoon. We are here for the North American Apprentice Grand Finals. Two phenomenal players here in this best of 7. It's going to be a good one, guys. I hope you all are excited because I know I am as we get this underway. And into game for game number 1 up in the top left-hand side in the red. Representing Infinity Gaming, he is Future. His opponent down in the bottom right-hand side in the green from Alpha X Esports, he is Cuddlebear. Coming off a very strong year for him, wanting to round it off with the North American Apprentice win over what has been a dominant Future. Both this year in general and especially in this tournament, he's done a pretty phenomenal job winning the last season that he was in, almost always getting finals other than that. Last time we saw Future not make finals in a Apprentice that he competed in was in Season 1. He lost to Cuddlebear in a best of 5 in the quarterfinals. So we know that this series is definitely doable for the Bear God in the green. As the scouts come through, second refinery taken much faster here for Cuddlebear. Gonna have a lot more gas a bit earlier. Keep an eye on what he'll be doing with that as the SCV scout for Future gets in, and he'll see the same thing. Down goes the factory. And on the other side, he'll take his natural expansion. Going to be tit for tat trades here. Trading off these little advantages. This factory advantage is going to be quite significant, however, as Future sits at quite a bit of gas for himself. Sending his Reaper across, and we'll be able to get his reactors. So, just going to be, a bit behind in the tech tree from Cuddlebear. We'll see how Cuddlebear will be able to take advantage of that. So he should be able to throw down a faster starport as well, and opted to not go for an add-on here. Instead, continuing to pump out units. Future looking to do this, or didn't look to do the same, obviously. We'll throw down this reactor. Ooh, and a proxy starport here in game 1 of this grand finals. I love it. This is going to be so tough to deal with, and let's see what the first units out here from Future is going to be. Looking like Reactored Hellion, which is not going to be very helpful against a proxied Liberator. Coming out just below his natural base. There is a Reaper across the map that sees that there's no expansion. So this should raise some alarm bells for Future here. Let's see how much information he can get as the Reapers arrive on the other side as well. Clearing out some of these workers, getting 3, not too shabby. These two Hellions will be able to push this back as both sides keep their Hellions alive. Cuddlebear just looking to apply some pressure. This is all just a precursor to that Liberator coming in. As Future comes around into the main base. Ooh, might be able to get a worker kill here. Oh, unfortunately, Future will get surrounded, losing that Reaper. It's on the other side. Those Hellions and Reapers come forward once again. Good hits for Future. So he's taking the upper hand so far. Good control back. Trades back the other Reaper. Ooh, and is very close to winning that fight outright. Those Hellions narrowly escaping death. As Cuddlebear sends the Liberator around, I don't think he sees it. And here we go, a good pull as the Viking will get involved. Only going to lose the 1 SCV. That should be about all she wrote for this Liberator. Very nice defense for Future here. As this proxied starport is going to go ahead and add on a tech lab, and we'll go ahead and be rallying its units back home here. So it's going to want to maintain this, and doesn't want to afford, can't really afford to not be producing from that starport for a bit. You know, he is adding on another one in his main base, so we'll have that available in a bit, and that'll help tremendously with safety for these units, as a Viking will be camping the spawn, waiting for that oh-so-expensive Raven to come out, see if he can get himself a nice free kill. The main force of Cuddlebear is moving through the center of the map, going to be protecting it. I imagine that Cyclone going to get involved over here. Here in just a second. In the meantime, Future moving forward with these Hellions, excuse me. Only finding a few Marines to challenge, and will clean them out. Loses most of his Hellions for it, though, and shouldn't be able to get too much actual damage here. Does see that the natural base is established, sees the lack of SCVs there. But should know that he's in a pretty decent spot economically. 36 to 30, that worker count. Take a look at that income. Been pretty even, you know, it's just a very slight lead for Future here. We'll really see it start to kick in, you know, as these meals continue to tick away, and in the terms of we should just have an overall bigger army for Future here in the next little bit, in the short term. He adds on a third command center for himself. Added on a second Raven here, not uncommon at all to see Future go up to 3 Ravens in this matchup before starting up his Viking production. We do see that double Viking production started up now for Cuddlebear, which of course allows him to have dominant numbers and air superiority, and should allow him to really pressure the tank line of Future and really force him to be very mindful of where he's positioning in these fights, as now he arrives with a tank. Just the one Raven still, as he contests the third base location, going to be keeping Future from expanding. But doesn't really want to take this fight head on. He is down in army supply, though he's not positioning like it. Very bold moves from Cuddlebear, as he will be backing off through the center. That starport almost home, as he looks to drop his third. Cuddlebear really been dictating the pace of this game pretty convincingly, right? I mean, Future has not had any harassment attempts. He has not really tried to break out of this contain. He is just going for a pretty straight up Marine tank Raven push. He has his macro in good spots. He's adding on additional barracks now, and it looks like this is going to be his time to move out through the center of the map. His Marines see the army positioned up here on the top side. The Vikings going to start to trade out. Interference patience goes through, taking out both of these tanks, and Cuddlebear should get cleaned up here. Auto turret goes down, trying to take out one of these Ravens of Future. Make this, Future throw it down, trying to finish off some of the Vikings. As Future walks over that pretty easily, only using a bit of energy from his Ravens to really make that happen. The 3 Vikings looking to exert their numbers here, though. Auto turret drop to help deter them, but it's not enough to catch them in time. A couple more getting rallied over, though. They'll be able to get 1. Should be able to get 2. Might be able to get this Raven as well. That is so nice. Great pickups here for Future in the center as Cuddlebear tries to get home. Vikings and Cuddlebear just desperate, trying to get any damage on their way back. Stim finishing up here shortly for both players, just about a second apart. That is very fortunate timing for Cuddlebear. Won't be caught off guard with that, but this third base is looking very vulnerable. Let's see, can Future break this and start to deal a devastating blow to this upstart economy of Cuddlebear? 57 to 62, that worker count. That third base still not an orbital, however, which means no mules. Has not been building up that energy. Future is going to have a significant advantage in that department. Going to have made a bit more money off of it. Significantly more money off of it in the past little bit. 1-1 started up for the Infinity Gaming Terran on the back side of things, as Cuddlebear continues to dominate the skies with these Vikings, and Future at this point not even looking to match him in that Viking production, instead opting for some medevacs. Going to be looking to keep his Marines alive a little bit longer, have a little bit more survivability, as well, of course, open up the avenue of some potential harassment routes, right? Be able to potentially go for these drops, find his way around this tank line, and pressure multiple angles. That should be a very nice asset for Future, though these Vikings will do a very nice job of shutting down any medevacs trying to sneak their way around. So Future going to have to play this very cautiously with how few Vikings that he has, adding on his armory, so his macro is going to be absolutely on point right now. 1-1, a bit behind for Cuddlebear, but also underway as he adds on additional production facilities, getting his add-ons onto these barracks over here. And look at this spread from Future. A few Marines on the outside of every path out of the base right now for Cuddlebear. There's nowhere that he can go that Future won't know about it. And that is a phenomenal bit of control and information to have, as Future really does not have to fear a thing. Marines trading out in the center, but Cuddlebear will take the better end of it. using a medevac, a little bit of cheating in the honorable Marine 1v1. But no big deal here. Cuddlebear have to deal with a little bit of Marines moving forward, but with a good tank spread. He's still down in army supply, but with his setup, it's unlikely that Future will feel confident enough to push into it. It's a rather tough fight to take, even with interference matrices. How many Ravens does he even have? Yeah, lost all of his Ravens in those previous engagements. Got that count completely reset, so does not have any interference matrix to work with. And of course, neither does Cuddlebear. But that means that these fights are going to involve a lot more trading than they would have before. A lot more cost of life to secure these positions, as now Future is investing in a tank out here outside of the base. So really starting to commit some more units to the front side of Cuddlebear's side of the map here. Going to be keeping him contained for the foreseeable future. And right now, Cuddlebear's okay with that, right? He has his 4th base finishing. He has managed to secure this bottom left position, so he should be able to secure a 4th base there. Of course, Future has had that 4th base in the top center position for the past few minutes. Drop getting loaded up for Cuddlebear. He's heading out along the right-hand side, and looks like he will be able to make it out undetected. But Marines getting rallied up here. This could work out very unfortunately for Cuddlebear. Oh my goodness. Oh! Okay, unloading. So they will be able to defend themselves. Future running away. Gonna need some more units up here. This is a planetary fortress. So this drop shouldn't be able to get too much done now that Future knows about it. Making sure he rallies additional units up there. See them on your mini-map as trades start to come through on the front side here. The Vikings still doing a great job at pressuring those medevac health bars. First real opportunity they've had to do so, as the Viking counts for both players very low now, as the Marines are just going to trade out straight up here. Future wanting to buy time for his medevacs, and comes out on the worst end of that. These Marines over here trying to trade out, losing one of the medevacs to the Vikings as the planetary thunders away, taking down these Marines and keeps them out of harm's way. So good job by Cuddlebear getting out, but will get chased down. Down on the bottom left side, a few Marines looking to get a bit of intel. Knows that 4th base is landed. I think Future is pretty okay with that. His 2-2 is almost completely an advantage over Cuddlebear. Cuddlebear did not start up that 2-2, and it is not underway just yet. Only just now starting up that +2 weapons. No +2 armor just yet either, which means Future is going to have such a significant upgrade advantage in this bio force. Going to really help him. What was that? I've never heard that noise before. Okay. Which is really going to help him in taking these fights, and, you know, these Marines having a bit of extra survivability, not to mention the significant increase in their DPS. Going to really help him in these fights. Let's see how efficient he can be as Cuddlebear looks to pressure the center. Sensor turrets all over the map right now, as the Viking count has swelled once again for Cuddlebear. He had been back all this production for a bit, has added on additional starports down there at that 4th base, and using that to great effect. Already at 8 Vikings to his name, though there is 13 now available for Future. Future's been doing the exact same thing, also getting on the advanced ballistics for his Liberators and continuing Liberator production as well. 2 at a time for the side of Future. Those Liberators are going to be so crucial, especially when complemented with air superiority in threatening these tank lines, and especially for potential harassment opportunities, right? It's something we have not seen from Future yet, though he still sits on a 6-worker advantage. Neither player really going for many drops. Both of them are just kind of pressuring the front and applying pressure in kind of the no man's land of this game as scans come through. We are here in game 1 of the North American Apprentice. Thanks so much for joining us here, guys, as Cuddlebear is pushing through. Has a couple Marines on the top side. We'll see if they'll be able to get done. Big siege up here. The scans come through. Cuddlebear has a little bit better shots and takes down the first 2 tanks for free here. Meanwhile, the Vikings getting a bit better trade for the side of Future, as he now gets to retaliate, takes down the Raven, and it's going to sit here and trade blows with these Vikings. I think Viking lead here for Future as he continues pushing forward. The Marines stimming forward now as well, and they're going to start taking down these tanks. Very nice grab for Future as he utilizes his numbers advantage very well, and now is coming up the ramp between this natural and 3rd base. Cuddlebear in a lot of trouble right now. The tanks not sieged up just yet, and down all 3 go. These Marines now right underneath these Vikings. They're going to be trying to take them down. Auto turrets coming down now as well to supplement that DPS, and GG is called as Future strikes first in our grand finals. Up 1-0 now. Congrats. Very well played game from him, if not a bit passive. Just kind of caught him off guard, caught him unsieged, was able to stim forward there, and really just kind of poop on that army. It was it just really showed how strong that 2-2 upgrade advantage is over just the 1-1 bio. He also had, I believe, at least +1 of ship weapons. We did see ship weapons get taken for Cuddlebear, which helped his Vikings trade a bit more efficiently there. But yeah, really fell behind in that bio upgrade department, and then of course in his just production in general. Future just working with a bit of extra money, had that earlier third orbital and snowballed from there, keeping himself at least 7 workers ahead, which isn't a huge number, especially in TvT. But it is, it does make a pretty significant difference. It is considerably more income, especially for the amount of time that he was farther than 6 workers ahead, right? There was a few times where he was up to 10, 12 workers for a bit. So Cuddlebear's, resting position for his economy was just working with less in the bank than Cuddlebear. Or than Future, rather. Cuddlebear working with less in the bank. As Cuddlebear is just picking a map here, guys. We should be getting into that here in just a minute. Thank you so much for hanging out today. Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. Let me know if there's any audio things that need to get changed or anything. But we should be getting into it soon. Shouldn't be too long here, guys. If you haven't checked out the Matcherino, you can donate to the prize pool completely for free. ! Matcherino. It's spelled right below me. Super, super cool. Make sure to check that out, guys. As we are now going into Triton for game number 2 for this grand finals TvT goodness. Let's see which of these guys will be able to walk away with this map win. See if Future will be able to get one step closer to his second championship, or if Cuddlebear will be able to defend his title and equalize here in game 2. Cuddlebear, of course, is the reigning champ. Future ineligible to compete in the most recent season, season 5. Now back again here in season 6 and looking to make a statement win here in the finals. We'll see if he has what it takes as he spawns in the top left-hand side in the red from Infinity Gaming. The first Terran player, he is Future. And his opponent down in the bottom right-hand side in the green from Alpha X Esports, he is Cuddlebear. Alright, there is a very early SCV heading across the map right now. What is he up to? Nothing good, as a barracks will be thrown down and a second one making its way across as well. Gas taking a bit faster here for Future, as Cuddlebear still establishing his. Other than that, pretty similar openers, other than, of course, Cuddlebear not building inside his main base today. No, sir. Going to be pretty well positioned to inflict some serious damage. Future isn't careful. Future's proxy defense, traditionally speaking, has been pretty good. Doesn't typically take too much damage from these. Generally speaking, does a good job at recognizing the units he needs to make, spending correctly, and pulling those SCVs when necessary. This is still going to be a tough situation. Double Reaper proxy right outside of his main base. Should be able to get up no problem. No block on that Reaper jump up just yet. We'll see if that even comes into play here for Future, if he even feels that that's necessary. No factory down for him just yet, only just now coming up, as the first Reaper is popping. So let's see if it'll be able to get any kills. Imagine it'll end up waiting for the second one before it's actually able to get too much done. As the first Reaper for Future also coming out now, and will be able to get the first couple shots off. The grenade, though, might allow him to take the fight. Oh, he gets naded down and finished off. Future wins the first engagement here. 2 more on the way from these proxy barracks as Cuddlebear wants to get some damage inflicted. SCV Scout is making its way across the map. Future might look to proxy something of his own as he hides this guy over to the right-hand side. Could also just be trying to keep him alive as well. We'll have to see. Is Cuddlebear now with 2 Reapers on the outside? It's looking like a bit of a wasted investment at the moment. Not too much he's able to get down as a starport is thrown down on his side of the map, but not by Cuddlebear. Future with that proxy coming through. I love this choice. When faced with a proxy, proxies his opponent a bit later with a bit higher tech of a proxy. That Liberator, of course, is going to be especially devastating given that these barracks are across the map and have been producing Reapers for this entire time. So we'll be seeing Future or Cuddlebear have a very hard time defending this. Once that comes into play, his main base looking very secure right now, though. Bunker on the Reaper jump up, has a Hellion, Reaper, and Marine on the top side. There's just 4 Reapers here for Cuddlebear. They are not going to be able to do too much. Not really too scary a force here. Just going to be keeping an eye on things. And now, let's see what they'll be able to get done. Trying to trade out against at least a few of these units, but 2 of the Reapers go down. Good control from Future as he keeps the Hellions alive and routes these Reapers. Chasing them away. Very, very nice. Meanwhile, Medevac was the choice from that starport. It's going to allow these guys to get picked up and get ferried directly into the base. So those Hellions are very, very low, so not very many shots to kill them. Reaper came in and actually was able to kill that SCV building the natural. That's pretty nice. Here come these Hellions now, though, in the mineral line. A couple Reapers to supplement. 3 go down immediately, now up to 5. Should be able to get maybe 1 or 2 more, but that Cyclone in a good spot to shut that down. Future unable to save that Reaper. Kills 5 though, and that is not too shabby considering he keeps that attack alive. All of those units live except the 1 Reaper. He has the starport still producing, trying to use it to make Ravens, as I was talking about in that last game. Such a valuable unit to have in this composition, and such a valuable structure that he needs it to be continuing to produce from this point on the map. Sending that stuff back home as the barracks comes up into the main. Finally returning home from its long trek across the map. Alright, the drop came back in now, looking for some more worker kills. Only found 1 so far. Needs another shot or 2, but we'll only find 2 SCVs here and should end up falling to this Cyclone. So lock-on comes through. Couple more shots will do it, but it manages to escape as Future comes in on the other side with a bunch of Marines and a couple Cyclones here, adding on a bunker. Going to make this very tough to break for Cuddlebear. Nice lock-on onto the Cyclone of Future, trying to finish it off here. Unable to get out of the lock-on range, but he gets interference matrixed as Future dives up onto the high ground. So ballsy as he gets the interference matrix onto that Cyclone. Oh my goodness, 10 HP on that Medevac as he carried all of his bio up there. And now the SCV is pulling. They got them in the corner. They've got him where they want him. This is the best fight he could be taking as the tank comes out as well. A good pickup here from Future as he's praying there's no Marine, and yeah, Cuddlebear will see the writing on the wall there, losing 17 workers to that second attack. Finds himself now down 0-2 to the powerhouse of Future. Played himself a very fine game there. Army value just continuously growing. Cuddlebear unable to afford to grow at the same rate and not recognizing perhaps the timing of that push coming from Future in time. We see Future able to come out to a nice and early lead here in this best of 7 in the grand finals for the North American Apprentice. This being the first season that we haven't had, or that we've removed those restrictions on North American residents that can play. No longer any WCS group stage requirements, so this time Future was eligible to play again. Estrella also eligible to play again in this season. Unfortunately had to give up a walkover in the round of 8 to Raise. So a little bit of wondering what could have been. That would have been a very phenomenal series if Estrella got to take on Future in one of these. But Cuddlebear earned his way to this point in the bracket through blood, sweat, and tears, cutting his way through Asuna and Raze in the quarter and semifinals. Future fighting his way through Epic in the semis. So already coming off a very strong performance in his last TvT and looking to be no different here in this best of 7. as we spawn into Game 3 of this Grand Finals, and it's looking like another proxy coming down, as in the bottom right-hand side in the red from Infinity Gaming, it is Future. His opponent up in the top left-hand side, going for the proxy 2 racks. He is Alpha X's Cuddlebear. Down go the barracks. Here on Winter's Gate, as Cuddlebear wants to open this series up, wanting to catch Future off guard, catch him slipping in his defense. I would really like it if this wasn't a Reaper proxy, or if it is a Reaper proxy, just needs a little bit better control at the start of this push for it to really come into play. As losing that first Reaper before leaves it to be just a, you know, kind of lackluster, right? He was not able to get the explosive start that he was wanting. He found himself wanting for that early damage to help get those other Reapers up the jump and into the base. As Future arrives with this SCV, we'll now know that there's some sort of proxy going on. Sees the timing of that second refinery as well, and that should be about all the information he needs. Bunker should be able to block this just on its own here. I think that completely blocks this jump up. And especially with that supply depot, definitely does. So Cuddlebear going to have to go the long way around to this ramp. Oh, he can actually swipe up on the right. Oh, wow. That's very annoying. Yeah, nice job here. He'll get a couple... Oh, okay, just the one worker. Ooh, and actually losing his worker. Setting up for a scout. But not a huge deal. Getting that one worker is nice, and this Reaper is allowed to stay alive. Could catch this SCV as well. Just looking to get a little bit of nice damage here, and should be able to get... Oh, okay, nice. Able to stop that bunker from going up, so it's not quite finished just yet. Future going to have to commit another SCV. Loses a third one here overall. Down goes to fourth, and now these Marines getting targeted down. This Reaper, this is the value he was looking for in that last game. This is working out much better for him, as the factory is still working on that Hellion. Future not able to get that out in time. He's losing 5 workers now, loses his second Reaper as well. Oh my goodness, this is getting very dangerous for Future. 17 to 15 that worker count after all of this, and the Reaper count continuing to climb for the Alpha X Terran. More Reapers coming through, and now they come up trying to keep this wall from being finished. Really loving to abuse it, and they say, no, please don't block it. We would like to use it just a few more times, and they look for another Marine. They will get it, looking for that SCV on the right side, building that starport, going to be delaying that a little bit longer as well. Repairs coming through now onto this Hellion to help it finish it off. And finally, Cuddlebear is pushed out of the main base as Future re-secures everything, gets this last couple Reapers cleaned up, but still continue to come in and will trade out against another Hellion, perhaps? Oh, okay. Does end up getting it, but loses his life. Natural expansion underway for Cuddlebear for quite some time. He's going to have a significantly faster economy on the backside of this, though the downside will be a lack of units in the opening couple minutes of this game, right? He's not going to have these barracks back at home, so he's not going to be producing any units. He's going to have a factory producing units here soon, but he's still adding on a tech lab right now. And so every second that goes by, you know, Future is already producing a tank. He's already producing Marines and a medevac. So he's going to have a pretty decent little push very, very soon. Cuddlebear, I feel like it's going to have a decent enough hard time dealing with. Especially with that medevac, the power of that reposition. Going to be very interesting to see how Cuddlebear deals with this. And really, I mean, the first question is if how Future is going to be able to take advantage of it. Cyclone comes out for Cuddlebear. That'll be very nice for denying that medevac if it ever tries to get into the main base. This barracks is going to be blocking the natural expansion as well. Cuddlebear is going to know exactly when Future decides to transition out of this, but he's not showing any signs of it here. He is continuing to produce SCVs, but also just pumping out units. There's no expansion in the works for him just yet, and here we go. Medevac coming up towards this high ground. Viking not out just yet. The Cyclone trying to get involved and gets a good lock on here. Trying to boost away to keep himself alive and barely does. Marines in that tank going to be unable to do too much here as that Viking comes into play and gets a good snipe. Medevac goes down. Really selling out this push from Future. who now has another medevac loaded up and is going to be sending it across the map with another tank and another handful of Marines here. Let's see if that's going to be enough as the Cyclones come out to challenge. The Viking lands as well, going to get that extra damage against the Mechanical and takes him down. The Marines doing what they can, but they will both fall as well. Future diving on top of this with the tank and those few Marines looking to kill the Cyclones. Catches one. As he goes for Cloak Banshee on the back side of this, looking to apply more pressure here on the front side as the tank sieges up. Should be able to take down a supply depot at least. Going to be very annoying to the side of Cuddlebear as he also works on clearing out that proxy barracks on the other side. Liberator now set up just out of range of this tank, however. Not quite ideal for Cuddlebear, but he is pushing this back. 11 to 23 is that army supply, but a 10 SCV advantage for the Green Terran as he sits on a very healthy economy right now. Now pushing forward with that Cyclone. Lock on. Ooh, not able to come through. That income advantage, guys, looking to grow for Cuddlebear here as that natural expansion lands. And, of course, already is an orbital, so we'll be able to see mules from that very soon. This economy only going to be getting better for the Green Terran. Natural expansion coming up for Future. More barracks getting added on in the main base as, ooh, Cyclone gets taken down there. Great target priority here from Future with this Banshee, and this is going to be doing quite a bit of work. 4 kills to it already as it now dives on top of this tank in the main base. A tank here to support it as well. The first tank falls, second tank will fall as well. Future looking dominant here in game number 3 as the Banshee gets so much work done, up to 7 kills. The Marines target down the Liberator. It is unable to save this game as the workers are falling en masse, and GG. Future goes up 3-0 here in the grand finals, looking absolutely flawless right now as Cuddlebear just does not have the answers. He is getting caught off guard and caught out of position time and time again in this series so far, and he is just not having the units and the production to be keeping up with these pushes from Future. It's just a very yeah, it doesn't feel great if you're a Cuddlebear fan right now. These games have not been going his way. Had the worker lead in that last game, of course, as a consequence, invested less money in that army and paid the price for it. Did not have that Raven out in time to provide detection to help him clear out that Banshee. Not to mention the fact that he was behind on army supply before that and, of course, afterwards. Losing those 2 tanks in the main base to that Banshee plus the tank diving in. His Cyclone being unable to finish off that second medevac would have greatly helped him slow down that push, because that's really all he needed to do. If that Liberator could stay alive a little bit longer, position a little bit more defensively, if he had a couple more Marines on the high ground to threaten the health bar of that medevac as it tried to move up, you know, little things could have made that game play very differently. Cuddlebear was very close to being able to hold that off and getting away with that better economy that he had, but unfortunately saw him get punished for it very nicely by Future, who through some very scrappy kind of parade pushes through the center of the map was able to gain ground, push into that main base, and apply significant economic damage, which just kind of, I mean, obviously ended that game pretty swiftly. Future looking great here in the best of 7 grand finals for the North American Apprentice, and we load into now what could be shockingly already our final map of the day. As if this guy on the top left-hand side can maintain his dominance from Infinity Gaming, it is Future. And his opponent needs your support to make a comeback here in Game 4 in the bottom right-hand side in the green from Alpha X Esports. He is Cuddlebear. Needs to make a series of adjustments here in this game. In an unenviable situation, needs to beat Future 4 times in a row. Not something very many players in the world can do. But it all falls to Cuddlebear here in the grand finals. An entire season leading up to this moment. 2 groups, 1 group stage, a round of 12 to round of 8 to round of 4, and now here, 3 best of 5s later. Cuddlebear on the brink. Tournament life on the line, lion's share of that prize pool, of course, on the line as well. And if you guys haven't checked out that Matcherino page, guys, now is the time. as we have a little bit more standard of an opener here. Exclamation point Match Reno in the chat. Donate completely for free using the code Apprentice in A6. It's Cuddlebear. Gets a good scout off here with the SCV, sees the timing of that expansion, and of course knows that he's going to be doing the exact same thing on the other side. Neither one really coming away with too much of an advantage here, though in the short term, Cuddlebear going to have a little bit earlier information. His factories get thrown down for these guys now. His Reaper going to make his way across. Might be able to find that scouting SCV of Future making his way through the center of the map. But it looks like Cuddlebear is actually going to make the call to stay at home with this Reaper. Wants to make sure he's ready for the Reaper of Future. Wants to try and catch it if he can. Patrolling that high ground. Wants to punish it if it decides to face check. That's what this SCV is for. Going to be the sacrificial lamb. And it does take that first shot successfully. Reaper diving forward. Great shots from Future as he targets down the Reaper and does take it out here in the natural base. Meanwhile, the fisticuffs on the low ground. Boxing champ for Future as his SCV reigns supreme and looks to take down this natural command center building. And it's going to be able to delay this quite significantly. 3 SCVs going down immediately here in Game 4 of the Grand Finals here for the North American Apprentice as Future comes off to a great start on Disco Bloodbath. That is exactly how you want to get this game started if you are Future. He is looking to take down the defending champion in Cuddlebear. And Cuddlebear really needs a miracle right now. He needs to get some work done. Down 5 SCVs. He's definitely not out of it in this game. Don't get me wrong. It's only a slight income advantage for Future. A little bit of hesitation here as well as he cancels that add-on. So clearly, advantage is growing for the Red Terran as he maintains his course, getting another cloak for his Banshees this time, but not before getting out a medevac. This medevac would allow these Hellions to get dropped up into the main base. Previously was able to do quite a bit of work against Cuddlebear in that last game, and in this game, not looking too different. Cuddlebear does not have really many units at all to deal with this. Cutting it very skim on units in this game. 12 to 12 that army supplies. Now the Marine count will start to get a bit better for Cuddlebear. Just has the 2 at the front of his natural at the moment, as both players have few Hellions loaded up. 3 loaded up for Cuddlebear and 4 for Future. Both going for the exact same thing. Cuddlebear was a bit faster with that tech, however. Faster with that medevac as the cloak was invested in for Future, and the Hellions get in. 3 go down. This is such a lineup. Oh my goodness. This is exactly what Cuddlebear needs. So he's looking to get more damage, but does decide to pick up on the other side. The Hellions get in. Good volley from those Marines. Try to take this out. 2 SCVs going down so far, and Future will have to evacuate the main. Coming in now at the natural. Good job by these Marines. Doing a lot of good damage. The SCV with the right hook takes down another one as well. 4 SCVs going down. The medevac falls, and down go all the Hellions. A phenomenal defense for Cuddlebear as he's sticking around with this medevac in the natural base, and is going to come in once again. Clearing out some of these SCVs. The tank gets a good shot off here. He is not available in the main base as the Hellions are going to be continuing to unleash havoc and are doing so much work for Cuddlebear right now. 5 more SCVs going down. 6 going down, really slowing down this economy of Future. He is down to 31 workers to just the 32 of Cuddlebear. The Marines gets a great first shot off onto that Banshee and takes it down. GG. A much better game there for Cuddlebear here in Game 4 as he stays alive in the Grand Finals. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. A pretty brutal end to that game. Cuddlebear catches the Banshee, cleans it up quite nicely, and yeah, that combined with losing so many workers to those 3 SCVs, it's a very tough fight from that point. I think it was doable for Future, don't get me wrong, but definitely an understandable point to tap out. Once you get to that point, we're going to have Game 5 coming up here shortly, guys. Waiting for that invite. Alright. Players are ready. Acropolis will be the battlefield here for Map 5 of the Grand Finals of the North American Apprentice. Should be a fantastic one here, guys. Yeah, just loading on in. Future versus Cuddlebear here for Game 5. If you're watching the North American Apprentice, make sure to check out the bracket if you guys haven't. All the VODs for everything is... Everything in the... all of our past games are up on YouTube now, guys. Round of 8 to the round of 4, all up on YouTube. So if you missed any of the games and want to catch any of them, the Cuddlebear vs. Rays series was very good. Cuddlebear vs. Suna, very good as well. You can check that out on my YouTube channel as we spawn in to game number 5. Up in the top left-hand side in the red from Infinity Gaming. It is our first Terran player, Future. His opponent down in the bottom right-hand side, looking to maintain this momentum and keep himself alive here on game number 5. It is Cuddlebear from Alpha X Esports. Everybody's building inside their bases. We're going to once again have a standard opener from these guys. As the SCV scout leaves the base for Cuddlebear, see what he'll be able to see. Otherwise, just about mirrored so far. Similar timings on the refineries. And yeah, really the question just remains how they'll be playing it differently from here. The timings on the second refinery is very important. The timing on any additional production facilities, if they try and sneak a second barracks or anything like that. I'm not expecting that at all, but we'll, something to keep an eye out for. Always is a possibility with these two. As Future throws down a natural expansion. And Cuddlebear's going to be doing the exact same on the other side. A second later with the factory, but not really too big a deal. Second refinery now being taken a bit faster here for Future. Cuddlebear still waiting to do so. So Cuddlebear's going to make sure he blocks off this Reaper jump up. Wants to make sure he's safe if it is some sort of weird late proxy or if there are late Reapers trying to get in. Very nice to be able to deny that information to this little guy as he makes his way across the map. Second refinery now getting added on for Cuddlebear. So see that amount, what is that, 30 seconds later-ish? So we'll see how tangibly that makes a difference here as we go into this early game. We have a couple Reaper and a SCV waiting on the high ground for Future to arrive. Future going to be trying to do that same thing again that he did last time. Let's see if Cuddlebear this time is paying a little bit more attention, able to micro it a little faster. Doesn't look like it. Future gets the first shots. Targeting down this Reaper, chasing it down. No hesitation for this man as he wants blood here in game number 5, running him down into the mineral line, but unable to get that final shot, almost getting surrounded there. And look at how many SCVs are getting pulled right now. 6 of them are chasing this Reaper around the main base. Oh my goodness, the SCV and the Reaper die, and Future moonwalks out of there. Oh my goodness. The balls on this man. Takes down the Reaper. A very nice start for Future. It doesn't actually mean too much in terms of actual game changing, but it's very nice. Very nice bit of a confidence booster. Also going to start to come into play as these Hellions tank more shots. Not going to have the Reaper that Future has to be able to tank some of these shots and, of course, regenerate from them. As Future adds on a Liberator to this composition on the back side. Continue to rally Hellions across the map, looking to put on very significant pressure to Cuddlebear right now. 16-10. That army supply is all Cuddlebear has in the production tab is a singular Raven right now. And that is not the ideal unit of choice to deal with this. Interference Matrix and auto turrets could be very good at dealing with this. The Hellions get a great first volley for Cuddlebear. Good control as he backs up. Winning the fight so far, but he's running low on health bars. But he does come out on top. And very nice job holding the top of the ramp. And we'll finish off the last Hellion. A nice defense for Cuddlebear as he was down in army supply prior to that. Would have been in a very vulnerable position especially if these other two Hellions had been added onto that fight before, added onto that push before heading up that ramp. This Liberator might have been able to come in while that fight was still happening as the Hellions try and pressure the front, trying to draw that attention away, but the Marines are now heading straight up, and an auto turret's going to have to get committed down to the bottom side to deal with those Hellions. A couple workers get taken down now. As the Liberator finally gets chased away, the Hellions just trading out with whatever they can here. Not really getting too much done. Denying a lot of mining time, though. Not too bad. But it will eventually get cleaned up here. Cuddlebear not taking too much worker damage to it. I don't think losing very many at all. Yeah, 5 in total in this game. Very nice defense. Going much better this time for Cuddlebear as he's maintaining tank production of his own now. Going to be starting to pump out a lot of Marines. Should be looking to add on additional production facilities in the near future. He's feeling pretty comfortable in this mid-game. Future, meanwhile, is looking to secure a third base, which will get spotted pretty much immediately by Cuddlebear. The Cyclone's starting to trade out. Lock-on comes through onto that Raven. All right. Oh, okay, up at the main base. An auto turret did come in, but wasn't able to get too much done. Meanwhile, this little Marine force and one Cyclone's trying to do what it can on the bottom side. Got a bit of damage onto this Raven, taking it down to 40 HP. But not much besides that. Cuddlebear returns home as he has a third base on the way for himself. And yeah, these guys are just going to be just macroing up, adding on some more barracks now. I believe we should be seeing those come through pretty soon for Future on the other side of things. He adds on Stim. And so with those powerful upgrades coming in the woodworks for Future, shouldn't be seeing him. Wouldn't imagine seeing him push out really any time in the next minute or so. As he waits for that to finish, of course, down to 100 seconds after that balance patch back when. Always very nice change. All right, Cuddlebear is going to feel emboldened, push through the center of the map. Let's see what he can get done with this. This is a little weird. I'm not sure how I feel about him moving out right now. There is a couple Vikings up on the top side for Future. We'll see what they'll be able to get done, trying to hunt for anything they can, and finds the Raven all alone. Yeah, less than ideal here for Cuddlebear as he loses that Raven, and both Vikings actually able to stay alive for Future. They'll be able to get repaired up and join the fray later. Here comes Cuddlebear, moving forward, looking for the interference matrix, gets one, but the auto turret not able to get placed in a good position to follow up on it. The Marines pushing forward now for Future, looking to take down more of these Ravens as the Vikings in the sky getting some nice volleys, taking down those health bars. Pushing this through. Vikings taken down here. Oh, Raven gets taken down for both sides. Both of them trading out 1-1. Future still marching through as he gets closer to this fourth base location. No base course here, as Vikings, actually a bunch of them just die there for Future. Good target fire from Cuddlebear, but now he loses his Viking as well. Really not a great day to be a Viking for these guys. 1-1 started up faster for Cuddlebear, just by a second, so not a huge deal here. Both players continue to pump out Viking after Viking from these reactored starports. The third base getting saturated for Cuddlebear. Likewise for Future. He just about already has it saturated. Should be seeing fourth bases come in pretty soon. But Future, with his army in the center of the map, won't be looking to allow any fourth base to go down safely on his watch. He's marching forward, looking to continue this pressure and try and catch Cuddlebear in a mistake. See if he can get some free kills and leverage an advantage here. 67-70 is that worker count. The economy in this game was unfortunately not made on game hard, so I can't show you that graph. But just about even here, guys, is what we're looking at. Very even games as Vikings able to take down that Raven. Really limiting the spells available for Cuddlebear, so not going to have any interference matrices for this next fight, not going to have any auto turrets to assist in that damage, losing the one Raven on the other side, and now just then losing his second. No tech lab on the starport to remake that anytime soon. Future continue to contest this position with a nice Viking lead. Cyclone's trying to do what he can to chip down on that. And Future is going to go ahead and back off here. Knows that he has upgrades finishing up shortly. Going to want to regroup with his main force as well, of course. And with an armory on the way, he is poised to continue ramping up, continuing getting better upgrades. Both players now at above 70 workers as the fourth base finally comes down for Future. I can't imagine we're seeing Cuddlebear doing that any later than now. Or too much later, at least. Marines trading out as he resecures Zelnaga tower control. And Stim finishing up here shortly for Cuddlebear as well. Just finished up now. It's a 1-1 all around here for these players, as both sides going to have those bit stronger of Marines. No weapon upgrades coming through for the tanks just yet, or the Vikings. So other than that, so I mean, overall, we are dead even in the upgrades, guys. Combat shield's not done for Cuddlebear. It's only just now on the way, so he's not going to have that extra HP for these Marines. Let's see if that comes into play. As the tank line moves forward, Vikings trying to trade out here. Viking lead for Future, and he uses it very well, down to just 2 for Cuddlebear on this main force. A good spread of this tank line for Cuddlebear, but leaves some room for Future to potentially slide his way around the bottom side of them. Let's see if that happens. Cuddlebear, ooh, he's actually going to come down towards this. Scan comes through, he sees him moving, and he sees his opportunity, diving forward. The tanks alone as the Marines are a little bit too far above, and a big siege from Future, and a huge volley here in Game 5. As so many go down for Cuddlebear, losing out on a lot of his tanks there. Just 3 of them left alive overall. The Vikings have landed, and they are opening up. Brah, 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 taking them down. Oh, man, Cuddlebear's in some serious trouble here. The Infinity Gaming Terran looking phenomenal here in Game 5. A double medevac drop heading up towards his third base. Going to try and get some damage done to this economy. And, hey, should be able to find quite a bit here. SCV's got pulled towards him for a minute and loses quite a few on the get-go. And now Future pushing out the ramp towards his natural once again. 1 tank sieged up for Cuddlebear, and that is it on the defense. The SCVs have been pulled. Cuddlebear trying to hold on here in Game 5, here in the North American Grand Finals. And he is getting taken down now on the production facilities. The drop gets cleaned up and pushed back. Though he did force that to lift up. That's very nice. The production facility's taking fights, but it is not going to be enough. Future takes the game and the series, and is your champion here for the North American Apprentice Season 6. Huge congratulations to Future. A very, very well-played series as he puts on a masterclass on how you should do it, how TvT should look. He plays very, very cleanly. Just drop in the 1 map here in the Grand Finals. Congratulations, Future from Infinity Gaming, for taking this championship. Cuddlebear going to be taking 2nd place. Huge congratulations to Future, and yeah, of course, congratulations on a phenomenal season from Cuddlebear as well. Season champion in Season 5, and now silver medalist here in Season 6. Undeniably phenomenal accomplishments. So a huge congrats. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and of course, everybody who played in the tournament. You guys are all awesome. Make sure to follow Sugar SC2 on Twitter, or at Sports Team Official, I think it is. You know, make sure to check all that out. Follow them on Twitter. Sugar is the entire operation. You can see him in the chat. He is, you know, he's the reason this all happened. So huge shout out to Sugar. Thanks for putting this on, and yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Peace out.